We are back-to-back episodes of Baschamania, episode 156, here with my man, Izzy. Izzy, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, brother?
I'm doing great. Thank you to Attack for sponsoring this podcast. Attack is a great app, ATAC. It's like having a trainer in your pocket. It's built by wrestlers, for wrestlers. So if you don't have a coach like Izzy, if you can afford to get a coach like Izzy, get an Izzy. If you can't, use the Attack app, and you can really supplement your training with a lot of exercise information, nutrition information, all that good stuff. So download the Attack app. Izzy, thank you for stepping in. Our guy Willie medical forfeited this morning, and you text me right away, and my first thought already has come to fruition because you're wearing a Michigan sweatshirt, and I'm overtly Penn State biased, so I love having the back and forth. So I'm glad we lost Wolverine Willie, but we got Michigan Izzy.
I'll tell you what, Willie is my boy, so I texted him. He didn't answer my text, so it's funny because then I looked online and I said, all right, I better jump in for my guy Willie. So Willie, this one's for you, buddy. I'm stepping in for you, brother.
Yeah, he's going to owe us both a couple glasses of wine in Detroit, but I'm super excited to have you on. Real quick, before we're going to go through the 10 different weights for NCAAs. Before we do, you also coaching Kennedy. She's got a match coming up too. Ruta Supercard. How excited are you for that?
Oh, we're pumped. Kennedy's been in town for a week. She's been on spring break. So normally she's at Wyoming Sem with Aaron Vanderveer and Chad Vanderveer for the Wyoming Sem Wrestling Women's Program. But we're fortunate. She had spring break right before, this big super match. So she's wrestling the super match. She's match number 7. So she's been doing great. We've had some great partners in here. We've had great training so far. Kennedy's really just coming into her own. She's something. She's something to watch.
It's going to be excited. I'll be there. If you're not going to Detroit, it's on Ruta's Plus. It's like $60 for the year. And this is a great way to kick it off. I think it's going to be an amazing event. I can't wait to be there.
I mean, and if you, I'm not plugging Rutus, but if you haven't checked out Rutus Plus, you should. There's some awesome content in there where we're getting ready to take our boys to the IKWF state tournament. We're going to have them watch 1 or 2 short films.
I love it. Yeah, I heard the Snyder one was really, really good. I haven't watched it yet, but I want to watch that one. Izzy, let me ask you this actually before we dive in, because I make my Penn State bias overtly clear. The long and the short of it is Cal Sanderson was a client of mine very early on at Iowa State. He moved to Penn State. I was down there a lot with him. He made me feel like an honorary alumni. And I've been worked with so many of those guys at Penn State that became the team a decade and a half ago I started rooting for. What's your tie to Michigan? You went to Iowa. You're in Chicago. What's the Michigan connect here?
All right. So this is kind of a pretty gnarly story, just in general. All right. So I went to North Idaho College, but my love and passion was Iowa wrestling brands, even Zaleski, So I went to junior college. I left junior college a semester early to come to Iowa City to get a degree and finish up. Well, right before school started, some things didn't go our way, right? So you come home. And then that's kind of where my passion and love for Iowa was. I was living and training with the Hawk Club for a little while and just, showing up as much as I could. And just that's where it was. And Tony, then Tony kind of fulfilled that. Hey, man, we got to get a guy there. And we, so that's my background with Iowa. Yep. My funny background with Michigan is I started a wrestling club called Izzy Style Wrestling years ago, obviously. But there was one guy that we were chasing. It was Sean Bourmet. And
really,
my dad and Sean actually had like this feud. Because my dad had a big wrestling school. He still does. Martinez Wrestling, Eric Tannenbaum, a lot of the stars, Kennedy Blades. I mean, DJ Hamidi. I mean, all these stars that have been in Illinois. A lot of them have come through my dad's facility. Well, Sean Bourmet started a wrestling school called Overtime Wrestling. And this happens, right? You got a guy who's, my dad was just a unbelievable coach, unbelievable. He understood the sport. So he did an unbelievable job, but he wasn't the guy that wrestled in college. He wasn't the guy that, had that big name that kids wanted to draw to. And at the end of the day, Sean was just an unbelievable coach. So he came in town and kind of took some of my dad's guys. And then that's kind of the feud that started. And, when I came back, it was like, all right, I better start a club too. That's kind of what I knew. So I started a club and we were chasing Sean. So it's so funny, right? Me and Sean. And when we first started the club, I had Izzy Style, and it was like, all right, we're coming after Sean. He had the big mega guys, and I had Tony, where he had nobody that could beat Tony. So that was where I got to at least give him some, because his team was unbelievable. It was like our team 2 years ago. We had a team like 27 state champs on our team in the wrestling school. It was like something like that. It was just epic. All Americans coming in and out. So Sean set the bar. So that was our first interaction with Sean and I, and then. He left overtime and went to Michigan. And once he did that, I was impressed by him because he immediately left the coaching club rivalry and immediately was like, hey, Izzy, how you doing? And I was like, hold on, I thought we were enemies, I thought we were rivals in state, and that's how it goes, right? We use that as motivation. And he ended up being real cool with me, not like super friendly, but just real business like, and I respected him because of that. Anytime you got some grudge or something and you switch roles, you got to forget about him. And that's what I'm doing with Illinois Matmen. I mean, there's been kids that kind of left and go, but with your other hat on, you got to change your perspective. So, Sean did an unbelievable job, like just being cool with us, being cool with Izzy Style. And here we go. Will Lewan, he's the coach. Will Lewan's number one in the country his junior year. He beats Peyton Robb. He beats a bunch of good guys at the World Team Trials. Sean's the coach, and I go with, and that's kind of mine and Sean's first interaction.
Luan was one of your kids, right?
Yeah. So Will Lewan wrestled with us since he was in the 6th grade. He had a coach, Tony Marty, used to bring him by us, and we kind of took Will under our wing. But Will was our boy for 5 years at that point, coaching and with us. So I was a big part of Will's life. I mean, we still are, baby, Michigan. Will is my boy, man. I love him. When he was home on break for Christmas, he was in the gym every day, and you can see the jump that he's made, not because of being in the gym every day with us, but the attitude to get in the gym every day, Yeah. Anyway, so we're in Greece. Will wins a world title. Will loves Sean. Sean's very smart. He's very calculated. He's one of the best coaches in the country, obviously. He's really, really wise. So I'm watching him interact with Will, and Will is showing him the respect that, you see a kid and if they respect the coach or not. You know what, and if they got that attention to focus with that coach, they're going to do well. What's awesome about it is Kevin Jackson was the coach also. So it was Kevin, Sean Bourmet, and myself coaching Will Lewan at the Cadet Worlds. Will ended up winning.
Not a bad crew.
Not a bad crew, right? I was like the guy that people were like, hey, who's that guy? And I was like, oh, I'm just Will's coach. It was awesome, because I'm standing next to Sean, then you're standing next to KJ. And I mean, listen, let's be honest. You got to have all the utmost respect for the Olympic champion, right? He's the guy, so it was awesome. Will got a chance to wrestle with both coaches, feel both coaches. He loved Sean. So he was like, Izzy, I want to go to Michigan. He had a couple other choices, and it would work out. Sean and I, we communicated well. We had honest, conversations about Will and about just what Sean's looking for in athletes. And I loved it, because I push guys. I don't want them to fall off track. I want them to stay on course, where Sean's to the point where it's like, hey, Izzy, you did a good job pushing these young kids to stay on course when they get to college. If they want to fail, they're going to fail. I'm going to be there to support them, but I'm not going to drive them to class, and it was one of those things that I don't drive kids to class. It was one of those things that I just really liked about Sean. And I'm not saying coaches that drive kids to class, I have before, but the whole point is just how he would handle Will and the future of Izzy Style that was coming. And he just sold us on the school, the training partners, the facility. And then when Dylan Ragusin came, we loved how Will was responding. And then once we sent Dylan, then now we got Fidel Mayoras there. Joaquin Consuelos is there. Jabril's there. Jabril's a great story anyway, but that's just not time for that today. But, listen, Michigan's been great to us. We got 5-6 guys that are affiliated with Izzy Style Wrestling there. I'm a huge fan of what they have going. So yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, I love it. That's a little background tidbit for all you. So with that, let's dive into some NCAA championship brackets. You printed yours. I printed mine. I'm interested to hear your picks. And I feel like this week is usually the week where I call people and I'm like, all right, what do you think? And just before you texted me, I was actually about to text our boy, Eric Siebert, and say, Eric, you have a webcam. It might be time to make your Baschamania debut. Because I love talking wrestling with Siebert. And then you text me, but Siebert's probably getting the phone call this afternoon to go through these. But so
Siebert's the man. Siebert is the man. I have so much love for him. When I first started coaching, he was the head coach. So it was just fun to compete against him, and I would look over and I know he would look at me and, it was awesome. I didn't really want a piece of him, but it was fun. It was cool. All right, let's talk about 125 pounds.
125 pounds, looking at, this is one of those weights where right off the bat, you see a bit of dominance with somebody like Soriano. You see some interesting seeding where Drew Hildebrandt, the 16 seed, after having a good year, but having a terrible Big Tens. And man, it seems like that's a punishment seed.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into the political side of this whole, I
don't want to analyze seeds.
No, which is cool though. I mean, the truth is the truth, right? Like Drew wrestled hard. He didn't pick and choose. And he's now in a very tough spot early in the bracket. I wouldn't want to be him, but I think that if you train at Penn State and you're around the best guys in the world, this is the opportunity you've been waiting for. I mean, and that's kind of how I would look at it.
Yeah. And I mean, I obviously, I love Soriano here to make the finals. I really think after what Vito did to Pat Glory, that was such a dominant win. And Soriano did impress me more at Big Tens than he has throughout the season. But I'm leaning Vito over Soriano here. And I know you're not going to like that pick with that sweatshirt, but I don't know. I think Drew, I think he has what it takes to obviously wrestle back and get third. So if I had to pick a top 3 here, I think I'd go Vito 1, Nick 2, Drew 3.
Yeah, I think Vito is impressive, and I think he's done impressive things on freestyle circuit and even folk style. He's just all around, just a solid guy. But I just don't know if he's got that extra. Soriano's dialed in. I think if you saw him, I think everybody's kind of witnessed. He's just a different freak. And I'm going to go with Soriano 1, Vito 2, and then I'm going to go down to Courtney 3 and Pat Glory 4. I want to see Pat Glory bounce back. If Vito sticks it to him real hard again, it's going to be one of those things. That's where my top 4 is.
How do you see Drake Ayala playing out?
It'd be nice to see Ayala upset Courtney right there down there in the round of Thursday night, but I just don't know.
It's a true freshman, and you have the health
not only
aspect.
That, right? Let's be honest. Yeah, the health aspect, but he's got the Iowa crowd behind him. I would love to see Ayala get on the All-American. I just think it's going to be a little difficult this year with his injuries.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm right there with you. Going to be an awesome. Wait, right off the bat, you have some great matches too, like Lamont and Heinzelman. Oh,
yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. You had me double thinking here for a second, but yeah. So right out of the gate, that's going to be a good one. Going to 33, very interesting weight. I think everybody was stunned by the DeSanto as the 5 seed, which really kind of threw not really a wrench into my predictions, because I think, I think you're going to see RBY and DeSanto again in the semis. And I think, as hard as it is to beat someone over and over again, it's also hard to pick against that person, right? Like if RBY is beating DeSanto 5 times, I see the argument from the Iowa standpoint, which is how many times in a row can you beat someone before, that person gets one. But I think Roman's going to pull through, make the finals. On the bottom side, it's going to be so interesting. This might be a little Izzy style bias, but I think Dylan's going to have a great tournament, and I think he's going to make it to the semis. I think Fix beats Dylan, and then Roman beats Fix.
Yeah, 33 is going to be an awesome bracket. What's pretty cool is I want to note this for all us Illinois fans out there. If you look down where Ragusin is, you look down, you got Ragusin from Illinois. Right below him, you got Bird, a wrestler at the University of Illinois. Right below him, you got Matt Ramos from Lockport, Illinois. Right below him, you got Anthony Madrigal from Oak Park, Illinois. And then right below him, you got Chris Cannon from Northwestern. So it's a wild little fluster down there, but even down low, I got Bird Cannon. I think that's going to be a great match right there Thursday night.
Yep.
Ragusin's my boy, but McGee was impressive. One of the things you can't do is you can't be biased, right? Like, and that's the honest truth. I think that when you put up a 10-0, 12-0 lead on someone, you got to respect that. So, I think Ragusin respects that, but Ragusin's my guy there. I think Ragusin, you're right. I think he's in the semis against Fix. I think Dos Santos Myers is going to be a better match than people are anticipating. I think that Myers is tough. I think Dos Santos comes out, but I also think Roman Bravo Young wins the whole bracket.
Yeah, we're pretty spot on there. And these are matches, again, right out of the gate, that when you look at these first round matches, like there's not a lot of matches to sleep on. When you look at this bracket, sometimes in the opening round, you're looking for like, what's the best match? There's a lot of matches here that you're going to want to watch. So even right out of the gate, I mean, you have, what was the one that really stuck out to me earlier?
At 33, right? I like Kolioko versus Ramazan from Iowa State. I mean,
that's the one I was thinking of.
That match is like, all right, because I think Ramazan has the ability to beat Foley, but I don't know if Kolioko can beat Foley. So it's like, it's just interesting, that whole bracket. It's going to be awesome.
That was the match I was looking for. Thank you. All right. So 141, another.
I might have to switch my hoodie for this one.
Well,
where's my Stanford hoodie at?
So if you look at my bracket, I've got Lee Real in the semis and Seabass Ironman in the semis. I don't think anybody is beating Nick Lee this year. I have Nick Lee making the finals. And, the bottom half of this bracket is so interesting, because I've said it a million times in this podcast, and I'm sorry if I sound like a broken record, but so much of wrestling is health and timing. What does Seabass look like heading into this? What does Ironman look like heading into this? If they met at Big Tens, my gut says Seabass takes out Ironman. That's what I liked at Big Tens. I still think that plays true. I think if you're looking at both of the guys at Big Tens, for me, Seabass looked a little bit more dominant, where Ironman looked like he was injured. You saw him kind of hobbling a bit. You saw him like, oh man, he's not looking good health wise. So
I don't ever. All right. So like I love Tom and Terry Brands, like I'm the guy that loves those guys. I have a lot of respect for them, but I don't ever text them. I never, even Sean, I never get into this injury gossip or, figure out this dirt or anything, so I'm going to say even the Iowa guys injured are going to be pretty good. Even the Penn State guys injured are going to be pretty good. You got to be careful. I got Woods, Alvarez, quarterfinal. I think that's going to be awesome. I think Matthews, Rivera is going to be awesome too. If Rivera is 100%, I think that's a great match, right? But if Rivera's not 100%, Cole Matthews is tough. He can wrestle. I'm a fan of his. But I think Real Woods gets it done. I think Nick Lee's got an unbelievable style, pace. He's in around a great room, but Rio's going to bring something different, and he's going to bring a fight. And I think Vincenzo Joseph has spoke on it. I think that, that this guy's different. He helped shape our whole program. So I'm going to take Woods in the finals against Rivera. But my upset is Carlson. I think Carlson is tough. And if Ironman is hurt, as they say, I'll take the upset there, Carlson over Ironman. But if Ironman is not hurt, I'll take Ironman in the finals against Real Woods, Iowa, Stanford.
Wow.
Real Woods, NCAA champion.
So what are you saying Nick Lee third then?
I'm saying Nick Lee third.
Ooh, Izzy. I'm rooting for Real. He's an Izzy guy. He's a Chenzo guy. That's right up my alley. Nick Lee, also a Chenzo guy. Coffee Nick, Coffee Chenzo. So this one's going to be interesting. I definitely can't wait to see how that plays out. You also have some early team race stuff, like Micic up there early. We could see,
Willits. Willits got that pin over Real, right? Then he beat Real before. So it could be, can Micic beat Hart? If he beats Hart, can he? He might be able to get out to the quarters. It just depends. And I think that's going to be huge in this race.
I know. And I'm wondering, when you talk about guys like Micic and Hildebrand after their Big Ten performance, you got to wonder that 2-week period, getting that confidence back in your guy. I don't know what the mentality is after you're wrestling and then you have a bad tournament or what it may be. But man, I got to believe that's such a crucial point to drive home right now, because much like Drew, if he loses in the quarters or the second round of Soriano, he's got to fight back for third. Same, you talk about the team race here. This is a big one for Micic in Michigan.
How about it?
All right, 149, the weight of Yanni D. This is one of those brackets. I just have Yanni's name written in big letters.
Can Austin Gomez get it done? Can Austin Gomez get it done?
I have him making the finals. I was talking to Siebert before the Big Ten finals, and I said, Sammy Sasso wins a lot of close matches, and Austin Gomez is going in here with a lot of confidence. He's got a lot of momentum. The kid is very good. And what got me about the finals was that momentum. And now it's, okay, can Austin carry this in? And if you're looking he could have Bryce Andonian or Yaya Thomas right out of the gate Thursday night. Those are not easy matches. And I think I give him the edge. And if he wins those matches and has some big wins Thursday night, Friday morning, I think that's the momentum he needs. I don't think he beats Yanni. I think it's Yanni 1, Gomez 2, and then I think I got Tariq 3.
Watch out for Yaya Thomas, okay? The guy the guy is sharp.
3. Sammy 3, Tariq 4. Sorry.
All right, so I got the front, the high rollers here, but let's talk about the underdogs here. Yaya Thomas has got it done, right? Gomez beats him, the momentum that he's going to be on. That's going to be pretty impressive. Gomez can wrestle. As we've seen, not every college is for every wrestler. Not every wrestler should wrestle for Izzy. Not every wrestler should wrestle, and if you can trigger these guys that have unbelievable skill sets, that have had thousands of matches, thousands of practice hours, if you can put them into a certain spot mentally where they're cooking, dude, they're going to absorb it. And look at Austin Gomez. What a freak. I got him making the finals. I think Yanni's going to be very difficult. But I got Gomez making the finals. I got Tariq Wilson wrestling Abbas. I think Abbas is going to surprise some people.
That's the best.
I think he's
best
put
first round matchup. By
Yeah,
far the best first
Ridge
round
Love
matchup.
and Jaden Abbas. Sit down, get there early.
That's literally the best first round matchup. But yeah, Yanni just beat Gomez 12-6, and Gomez took a lot of shots, and Yanni seemed to have an answer for everything. So I'm pretty confident in Yanni. He obviously, I believe he beat
Gomez is going to make adjustments. And that's one of the things, if you notice about Austin is, he's wrestled Greco, he's wrestled freestyle, he's got that upper body, where, let's be honest, he's not going to just take those same shots again. He's smart, reader, grows. Bono, Austin, let's go, baby.
Yeah, I texted him after Big Ten and said, what period, weekend period, surprised phase.
That's awesome.
And he said, not done yet. So
Yeah, you know what? We're all huge fans of Austin, Illinois. His story's unbelievable, and he's gone through, the highs and lows of the sport, that's wrestling, that's life, and it's preparing him for life after wrestling.
Yeah. So 157. This is a good weight.
Luan Carr, right? Young Luan, right? I'm gonna talk about it real quick. I got Carr Monday in the semis. I got Teamer Deacon in the semis. I got Carr winning it.
Who do you have in the semi against Deacon?
Teamer.
I got Scott over Teamer.
Okay.
That's a bit of like
Scott's
yeah,
on the top. Scott's
yeah,
4.
You know what? Yep. I goofed there. Yeah. So let me I got Teamer Deacon.
O'Connor, they said he's hurt. I mean, the guy's a junkyard dog. I'm a fan of his. Listen, Austin's never really 100% trained at Izzy. He trains everywhere, but when he's home, it's great to see him in the room. He's always asking questions. He wrestled with us his senior year a ton. We all love Austin, but, with the one knee against Teamer's a little quick, I'd like to give the nod to Austin, but Teamer's something special. I think he's going to make it out to the semis against Deacon. Watch that Deacon Rob quarter, though, guys. Watch that Deacon Rob quarter. Rob put him on the walls a little bit over at the Big Tens, and he made him think. So
look Deacon, what Rob took Carr to overtime earlier in the year, one of the first weekends of the year. Peyton Rob knows how to push it. And going up top, to talk about the team race for a minute, that top quarter quad is nuts because you have Berge, who took third at Big Tens and now is the 16th seed. He's another guy who I think David Carr wins there. So you're going to have Berge fight back in a very tough weight for that team race. You also have Caleb Young in the first round against Doug Zapp, who I think is underrated. I think he's young
tough.
Stud,
he's tough.
Yeah, and he's not somebody, after Berge.
That would hurt Iowa.
That's what I'm saying. That's one of those matches that, if you look at the seeds 9 and 24, Young looks like a big, he looks like, he's the guy. I don't know. That's a match that, as a Penn State guy, I'm obviously rooting against Iowa. No bounds about that. I also love the Penn people. So, that's a match to watch. I know. Look, I don't hide from Iowa and Michigan fans.
I love it.
And let me ask you this too. Luan, he's your guy. And, he's somebody who Michigan is going to need a great performance out of him for the team race.
So let me just say this, okay? And I feel so confident in our guys, and sometimes it backfires, right? They always say, everybody's your own worst enemy, right? Well, I feel this. I feel if Luan and Ragusin place in the NCAAs and they can get into the top 6, both of them. If both of them get in there, Michigan wins it.
Wow.
But we need both Izzy Style guys to get in there. And I think Will Lewan's got to get out to the quarters. He's got to wrestle Carr. And, he's got to make something happen. Let's be honest. Carr's the man. He's on a big win streak. I think Lewan on the backside, Austin O'Connor, blood round type of thing. I don't know. It's going to get wild. I've looked at the bracket. I got Carr, Deacon in the finals, though.
Yeah, same. This is one of those weights where, I've got Carr, much like I have Yanni. Like I don't think it's going to be close. That's just my opinion. But I think this weight, watching how Penn State, Iowa, Michigan play out is going to be a lot of fun. 165. What do you got for 165?
All right. So I feel like DJ's the best guy in the country without these 6-year guys. I think Wick and Marinelli are just something special, both of them. I think Wick is really special, long. I think he's like DJ, but grown man. He's not as creative as DJ. But listen, I got DJ making the semifinals. I got him upsetting Shane Griffith. I think I got then Wick. I think Wick is going to be a little too much for DJ, even though I'm rooting for DJ. Right. These are just my predictions. I got Wick in the finals against Marinelli, and I'm picking Marinelli. I think that the guy's just an unbelievable young man. I think he obviously O'Toole's a freak, right? There's no denying O'Toole's the man, and he's a favorite, and everyone thinks he's going to pin him. But man, Marinelli's got something to be fighting for. Corey Clark's a good friend of mine, and he runs our wrestling school with us. And he said something that was awesome. Yesterday, he says to me, He says, Izzy, you know what? You go there, you've been there 3 times and you didn't do it. And there's like a pressure that's kind of off your back. You're just like, you know what, dude, I got nothing else to lose. I'm going to go out there and get the job done, you know? And that's what Corey said he did. So I'm taking Marinelli to win the whole bracket. O'Toole third, Hamidi 4. And those are my top 4. Griffiths is going to be interesting though, but that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I have a toss up. I have Griffith and Hamidi, and I think I lean towards Griffith there.
I mean, that's a good choice, right? That's Hamidi wrestling with my dad and my brother.
Hamidi is so good that it's hard if you've really been watching him. He's a hard guy to like pick against because he gets it done so much.
Can he get it? Can he get the bundle on Shane Griffin, right? Can he get some of that creativity, you know, or is that where Shane is just going to kind of be patient and smart, like you said, I think that's a toss-up match, and that's one that I'm going to be pumped for.
It's one of those things where if I look at Shane's year, he hasn't been able to win some of those big matches, but he's got a guy in his corner by the name of Vincenzo Joseph who knows how to win some big matches. And I really think, much like you said, him and Real, I think him and Shane, or him and Chenzo and Shane have a great relationship. So I think Griffith gets it done there. Wick has beat him a couple times this year, so I'm taking Wick out of the top side. And I have Marinelli O'Toole, and I didn't write it in because I wanted some extra time because I'm so torn because like I could fight both sides. I agree with you 100% on Marinelli. I think to pick against a 4-time Big Ten champ is silly. I also look at O'Toole and I just think like, here's this kid who's not making a lot of mistakes. He has that hunger, and we see it a lot more in the senior level where the young gun comes in and just that fresh energy is that added oomph to get it done. So I got O'Toole making the finals.
How about let's just say for a second, Hamidi O'Toole final though. How often I'd rather see the Hamidi O'Toole final than I'd rather see the Hamidi O'Toole 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, no, I agree. I would look at the funny thing is I think if you go through our picks, I have like 7 1 seeds and the other ones are like 2 seeds. And this is March. This doesn't go chalk. There's going to be upsets. Right. So I can't wait to see where I'm wrong, where I'm right. But yeah, I think Wick gets it done over O'Toole. But yeah, O'Toole, I think too, the Big 12 doesn't get the attention the Big 10 gets. So I think when you talk about a guy like O'Toole or David Carr, I don't think they get talked about nearly as much because we don't see them at some of those bigger tournaments. We don't hear them talked about as much. But that's why I love David Carr. In this tournament. I love O'Toole. I think he's going to do good. So excited for that. Going to 174. I don't think anybody, well, I shouldn't say that, but I got Carter winning this thing. That Kemmerer Hidley quarterfinal is ridiculous. On paper already, the biggest quarterfinal there is Friday morning, with the winner getting Carter, if that's who matches up. What do you think for that quarterfinal?
I think Kemmerer, I saw him go down at the Big Ten, and I think that when you go down with that sharp pain, I just don't know if he's healthy enough. I think he's tough. He did a camp for us. Unbelievable technician, unbelievable guy. And I want him to win. I want Kemmerer to win the whole bracket.
Hey.
But I just don't know if he's 100 right now. Yeah. If he was 100, I'd put him in there. I think Hidley's going to make the finals there. I think Hidley's strong. I think he's unorthodox. Wow.
And so you think he takes out Kemmerer or then?
Okay. This is the truth here. I think one of the Penn State guys is going to get upset. I don't know which one, but I think, I think Hidley's a funny matchup for anybody. I think the NC State guys are kind of pumped up. And I like Carter. Don't get me wrong. He's my pick on my paper. But since we're talking and I want to kind of create some tension here. Sorry, Carter, you're my boy. You know that, right? I'm cool with him. I see him at all the events and I give him a lot of love. But I think Hidley's got something. And I think he's going to wrestle Massa in the finals. And that's kind of where I'm at. I think Logan Massa, Hidley in the finals. But whoever comes out on top, Starachi or Hidley's going to win the event.
So you think Massa and Lewis? Who do you think out of those two? if they
I
wrestle
think
him.
Massa's wrestling hard and vicious.
good.
You know, I think he just doesn't have that athletic ability to stay with Carter. You know, at the Big Tens, you kind of saw the difference there. But I'll tell you what, Massa's wrestling hard and tough, and you know he wants it. They have a lot of pride up there right now on this Michigan team, and all year long I was up there, and they were just talking about just talking to Dylan, just talking to these guys, and they're saying how they only got to come together at the end. This guy's injured, let's rest him up. This guy, we're gonna get beaten this duel. But we're preparing, and every match we're getting better. And I think Massa has taken some of that pride, and I think he's gonna do great. Yeah, finals, baby.
I think Carter over Massa. I don't think ever since Lewis took the Olympic red shirt, I just don't think he's been the same. I think he's an outstanding wrestler. But like you said, Massa's hungry, and I think there's a lot to be said about adrenaline and momentum. And Michigan definitely has something cooking up there. In
Detroit.
Yeah.
In Detroit.
I cannot wait to root for Penn State in Detroit.
It's going to be awkward with me, because I got Abe and, a lot of guys from my wrestling school, and, my love's Iowa, there's no doubt in that, but, Michigan and Stanford, and, it's just, we got kids at, Northwestern, they got 2 of 10 guys. All right. So they got 10 guys that qualified. Storlio, know how they did an unbelievable job. They got Rao, right? So I got to give Northwestern some love there, but the cool thing is we got 2 guys on that team, and Jack Jessen was one, even though he was 3-13 and he got in, he qualified for Northwestern. So we got 2 guys at Northwestern. So I don't know. There's a lot going on here.
Yeah, there is. So moving up to 84, I've got Miles and Parker in the semis up top, Trent and Brooks in the semis on the bottom. I think Brooks beats Trent. I think Brooks beats Amin. I get that Amin just beat Brooks the Big Tens. I don't think that happens again. It was a very, very close match. I think it's going to be another close match. But
did you see the duel? Did you see the duel, though? Did you see the duel?
Yep.
The duel with Amin and Brooks was a lot tighter than it came out. I mean, it was an overtime match, but, Amin's a shooter. He's going for the legs, and I just feel like that I like his style more than Brooks. Come on. I mean, Justin, whose style do you like better, Brooks or Amin?
I think Brooks
has better wrestler.
No, but hold on.
Style?
I think Brooks has a clutch gene in him that is so fun to watch, that when I think styles, I don't look at it as technically as probably you do as a coach and as somebody who's been a high-level wrestler. I look at it like Brooks is so hungry, and he's got that clutch gene where I think he goes for it. And a lot of his matches are close. I mean, when he beat Amin at the duel, it was only 3-1. Now this one went into overtime. He lost 6-4. So I think Brooks gets it done here.
They're wrestling. That's what's cool, right? They're wrestling. They're not just, it's not a 1-0, they're wrestling. They put points up. They put 10 points up the last match. Like you said, I got Keck down here though. UNI 4. I got the UNI 4 coming all the way out. One of the upsets I got Bert Wilson making the quarterfinals. I want to see how I got an upset there. Cal Poly. Munoz going to come out right there. He'll make the quarters against Hidley. I'm taking Amin over Brooks.
That Brooks Trent last year's NCAA final as a potential rematch in the semis. And for people listening who sometimes think we're just going with like the 1 through 4 seeds, we're not, but we're also aware that more than likely these could potentially be the matchups. But obviously, like I said a few minutes ago, you don't know who's going to be those big upsets, who's going to go on a run, who's going to go on the tears. I think about Kyle Connell a couple of years ago. There's been some guys you don't see that just put a tournament together, and I can't wait to see.
Gavin Kane, I mean, he's young, right? But how can he do on the backside? These young guys on the backside, Munoz on the backside, how about Washington Ramiro first round? Washington looked a little, sluggish, but he can wrestle. He locks up that upper body.
He's one of only 2 guys to beat Carter.
Can he do it?
He beat Carter the first match, Carter's first match.
That's wild.
So, yeah. He knows how to wrestle.
This is huge, though. I think this is gonna this will be where the team titles won right here. I think this match, the main event, this is the main event right here.
Yeah, I think, it's definitely. I mean, how many Penn State
until we get to 97. So I'm just hyping it up here, guys. I'm doing my job here. I know you guys are thinking 97, Brucky. Dean, I know where that's a potential. But for this match, I think we're going to call it the main event.
Yeah, I don't think too many people are going to argue with you, though, on that one. All right. The next main event, 197. I've got
Illinois. It's an all Illinois match. It's an all Illinois final.
Wow. So you're not going.
Sorry, Justin.
You're not going with Dean there. Okay.
It's an all Illinois final, and let the good guy win. Let the Illinois wrestler win. I'm not picking the finalists, but I believe it's going to be, it could get interesting, right? Schultz can come all the way out. Warner can come all the way out. I think Warner or Schultz comes out on the bottom, and I think Brucky comes out on top.
So I think that Brucky
can Caffey beat Dean early? That's, you never know, but I doubt it, but.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
I'm poking back at you because
I know
everybody's like, nobody goes at Justin or whatever. I'm just being
everybody goes at me. What do you mean? I think we saw the match at Big Tens between Cameron Caffey and Max Dean that I thought we would have saw when Caffey pulled out the upset. But you definitely have a lot of guys here early.
Yeah, it's crazy. This bracket's gonna be great.
Even Nino, returning finalist at 97, he can do some damage. I think that, I also don't know, going back to people not in the Big Ten that don't always get the respect, Stephen Buchanan, dude is a stud.
He is. Watch Elam, watch Rocky.
Yep.
Watch Rocky. I'm telling you, the dude is unreal also. I'm telling you, that was one I was like a little funny on. And then I got a little funny on Amos Elam because they know each other. They've wrestled, Yep. I'm just thinking, wow, I can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, you could have in the second round, you could end up having Amos versus Elam, and the winner of that could face, Buchanan. Like this
Trumbull. I mean, be careful. Isaac Trumbull, Nebraska, NC State, throws tall, long.
Yeah.
I mean, this bracket's awesome. 97 is really wide open in my eyes. I know a lot of Penn State fans are giving it to Dean and Brucky at Michigan.
But I'll tell you what, I agree with you, but I'll tell you what, it's the guys like, who I'm looking at right now that could be a sleeper against Max in the quarters. How about Lou D. Perez? He's a hammer, dude.
How about Cordell Norfleet, who was highly ranked last year?
Yeah.
Right away. Then he goes to D. Perez.
Yeah. It could be. I mean, listen, I think Max wins the weight. I don't think you're going to get the all Illinois final. Apologies there. But I think that I think you're going to see a lot of people that aren't like the 1, 2, 3 pull some upsets, and a guy like
Schultz.
Lou.
I mean, can Schultz get it done? I mean, he's ranked 1, 2, he's right there. He hasn't All-American yet. I give him Warner, I don't know. I've all Illinois final, Justin. Come on.
And Schultz's losses, he's only have 2 losses this year. They're both close. He lost to Max Dean 4-2, and then he lost to Buchanan 7-3. So amazing weight. I can't wait to see how all these weights play out, especially with the team race too. You start talking about what people can do, what they have to do to, if you do have Max and Brucky in the semis.
Ooh.
All right, heavyweight. Gable's world. Yeah,
Gable's weight.
Gable at this point, obviously anything can happen. It's the NCAA's, but I think Gable wins this, and I think that this is just the Gable parade kind of thing. I feel bad. Kirk's my boy. I love Kirk, but I don't think anybody's beating Gable. I think Kirk's going to make the semis, lose to Gable. I think
Wyatt. You think he's going to get Wyatt?
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think Big Greg has been slept on a bit, and he's lost some matches, no doubt about it. But these wins against Mason Paris, I feel like people don't really see coming. And if there's anything about Kirk that you have to kind of look at, against somebody like Wyatt, look at the guys Kirk has wrestled all year. If you look at the Big Ten heavyweights, Wyatt is an incredible wrestler who can no doubt. I mean, the guy's undefeated this year.
He was nearly pinned. Did you see him in the Pac-12 or the Big 12 finals? He got cracked down, single leg crackdown, Okie State. He damn near pinned him. And I think you're right. I think Kirk pins him in that position. But I think, like you said, the competition, the schedule, I think Kirk has the better talent and everything. I just watched this kid from Air
No,
Force.
100%.
I saw him at Worlds. Coach Barber is like, Izzy, this guy, he's like an honest coach. He's not going to blow smoke. He's like, Coach, this kid is tough. And I just feel like, watch that match. I got Kirk also winning. But yeah, Gable's finals, Cassiope, Paris, team race, that last match of the night.
So what do you think for the bottom half of that bracket? I mean, so
you're not going to like, you're not going to like what I got to say. So
listen,
ahead.
So I've got Cassiope and Schultz, with Schultz coming out with the W.
Okay.
Now I feel like I could eat that very easily because Schultz on paper has ducked a lot of guys this year. We haven't got to see a lot of these matches that we wanted to see. And I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if it's, what the mentality is there. But here's the other thing that I know you say even a healthy Iowa wrestler is very good. I agree with that. And if in my mind I knew Cassiope was 100%, I'd probably pick him over Schultz. I think I'm going with Schultz over a limping Cassiope. Because Big Tone has impressed me. Now I know you want to go back to Mason. I know.
Listen, he's skilled. He's talented. He's been there before. He's a shooter. Schultz is a little slower. Schultz hasn't wrestled the competition. I feel like Mason Paris is going to get out to the semis. Cassiope's, not 100%. I would love Cassiope to win. He's an Illinois guy. But with that being said, I don't feel bad choosing Mason Paris. He's Will's roommate. He's motivated our guy. Will and Dylan, they look up to him. He's been a leader to him. So my bias side is Illinois. But where my heart's at is like, hey, I think Mason Paris is just all around a solid guy, all around a great ambassador of the sport. I think Mason Paris makes the finals. I hope Gable puts on a show, and I hope he does his thing, and I hope he, and I just hope Mason, he's at the brunt of it. So I hope he can handle it.
I will say that if Mason upsets Schultz, I think the winner of that quarterfinal makes the finals. I don't think Cassiope, not 100%, can beat either of those guys.
Wood's tough. Wood. Don't forget. Jordan Wood's tough. Lehigh. I mean, you can't disrespect that program, right?
No, 100%
coming to wrestle.
And to go back to the Schultz thing, since you admitted the Illinois slight bias with Cassiope, I will say that a lot of reason, but this podcast has also led to more and more relationships. And Eric Thompson is a guy I've gotten closer with. And Eric Thompson's coaching Schultz.
I was down there with the girls for a week, and Eric was working, and what a good dude. He was real pleasant. He was real nice to the ladies.
He's not a sideline coach.
He's in there working.
Yeah, he's a player coach. He's so I think the winner of that Schultz Mason match makes the finals. I do think that I give the edge to Colton, and that might just be because we haven't seen him against these Big Ten guys.
No, Mark Perry told me Schultz is winning. Schultz is making the finals, and I just told him, "All right, Mark, and he's not wrong. I got a lot of love for Mark. Shout out, Mark. But Schultz is not gonna. I think Paris might. I don't know. Here we go.
Yeah,
and we do this.
If you look at Colton Schultz resume this year, it's not that impressive. Now that I'm looking at it, he's only wrestled one top 10 guy, and it's Jordan Wood, and he won in overtime. I'm
telling you, Mason Paris is making the finals here. He's going to make the finals, and the team championship on Friday night might be one that we circle back on Sunday and go, is that the match that did it? So good luck.
Yeah. So what do you think for top 3 team race? No bias.
All right, no bias. I think Penn State, they're going to have more national champions. I think Penn State, Michigan, Iowa, Arizona State.
I could see that.
I think the national titles and the Stefan Michi, even Will Lewan, Amin, those guys that all wrestled way above their seeds, even Ragusan way above their seeds from the, if they show up, I would love to put Michigan at one. I would love to see Michigan win national title. It's been that when we sent Will and Dylan there, and I was talking with Sean. Sean told me these guys are going to be a huge piece of them winning a national title, and we're there. We're right there. We're a week away, 7-8 days away from hopefully the boys helping them make it happen. But I think Penn State, you can't vote against them, even though there's a lot of haters out there. You got to, that they're going to be prepared, and mentally this is what they do, and I think Michigan's going to have a chance to pull it off. Bonus early. Can Ragusan get bonus early? Can these guys get some bonus early and make up some holes? It should be interesting.
And you're spot on too about, guys like Michich and Dylan for Michigan, because for Penn State, it's the same with Berge and Drew and others, because look at last year, Penn State had 4 national champs and didn't win the title. Right. You can have national champs. You need a strong team. You need these guys scoring bonus. You need them scoring points in the backside.
I didn't text Sean to talk to him. I just said, hey, thank you for everything with the guys. And I said, the target's on your back now, Sean. And he texted me back, let the war games begin. It's like, that's what's exciting. I'm pumped for Michigan to try to steal this one. It's in their backyard, 100-year anniversary. Eric Tannenbaum, my best friend growing up, went to Michigan. It's like, there's a lot of love there, so it's going to be best of luck, man. I can't wait to see you, Justin. I can't wait to see everybody there. I'll be there for the super match with Kennedy Blades. We're going up on Tuesday. Jesse Mendez has kind of been working out with Corey and I. So good luck to Jesse this week at the super match, first match. Justin, congrats on your baby, man. I got 3 kids at home. I know it's an unbelievable experience. You're a blessed man. So cool, man. I appreciate it. I wanted to, when I saw you were down, Willie, I said, you know what? You've done a lot for me, man. We've been pretty cool. So anything to help you out. I got Illinois Matmen rolling, so when guys drop out, you're just like, you get kind of frustrated. So man, it was good to be on your show. So thanks for having me. Peace out. Izzy Style.
Hey, Izzy, before that was a phenomenal close. Real quick, before we go, I know you do have the Illinois Matmen on ROKFIN. If people are subscribing to that, what can they look forward to?
We're just putting some things together right now, but look forward to an Iowa, Illinois duel. Look forward to, state-to-state duels. Look for, we're going to have a couple small events. Rankings, articles. Illinois Mat Woman is actually launching tomorrow. So Illinois Mat Woman, IllinoisMatWoman.com. It's going to be awesome. We're just trying to grow the sport of wrestling. Give every one of these athletes, you see it. Number 2 in the NCAA qualifiers this year. Illinois is coming, and we need to be able to highlight these wrestlers, highlight these programs, highlight these coaches, give them the national recognition that Illinois deserves. And I built this platform for 12 years with the UFC and Izzy Style Wrestling, and now my followers have all jumped on Illinois Matmen. We're getting 30,000-40,000 views a month to our website. So we're just getting a lot of talk, a lot of boosting our wrestlers. We believe in Illinois wrestlers. We believe we're the best in the world. We got the potential. Look at DJ. 2 guys are the best guys at Wisconsin are from Illinois, right? There's 2 guys from Illinois on Michigan's team. There's 2 guys from Illinois, 3 guys from top side of Iowa Hawkeyes, so it's our job to keep promoting these guys and getting them in the eyes of all the college coaches. So that's what you expect.
And you also step up when you have to, like when the Midlands got canceled, within 24 hours, you had the Matmen Open, boom.
So when I took over Illinois Matmen, the goal was, how can I help the sport? How can I grow the sport? When I was coaching at Izzy Style, and I was coaching high school for 10 years, we won 8 state titles, and it was like, all right, when we're done with that, where are we at next? How can we grow the sport with like I did, and how can we help the sport and change the sport for the better, like I did for 10 years as a coach? And now I'm still running Izzy Style, and that's kicking butt. And, that's That's where
That's your baby. Yeah.
Right. But Illinois Matmen is just, that's what it's about. It's about helping grow and promote the sport of wrestling in Illinois.
I love it. Izzy, thank you so much for hopping on. I can't wait to see you. I fly in Wednesday around 2. I'm sure I'll see you right away at the Rutgers
Team Blades, baby. Let's go. Kennedy Blades.
Let's go, Kennedy. All right, Izzy. I'll see you in a few days, buddy.
And the beat goes on.